I call to order this meeting of the Knox County Commission for Monday, December 19th, 2022. Seated to my right is Vice Chairwoman Terry Hill and Law Director Mike Moyers. Seated to my left is Ms. Kim Ellis with the Knox County Clerk's Office. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Lundy.
Here.
Commissioner Durrett.
Here.
Commissioner Oster.
Here.
Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Here.
Commissioner Hill. Here. Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Beeler.
Here.
Commissioner Daly.
Here.
Commissioner Jay. Here. Commissioner Frazier. All members are present.
Present. Thank you. We have a quorum. At this time, I would like to recognize Commissioner Lee for tonight's devotional.
Yes, I would like Reverend Billy McCool to come up to the podium. He's going to do our devotional tonight, and he is from First Apostolic Church of Knoxville.
Madam Commissioner Rhonda Lee, and distinguished members of the Knox County Commissioners, I thank you for this high honor. Each one of you individually, and especially Commissioner Rhonda Lee, a friend and faithful attender of First Apostolic Church for many years. In this devotion, I'd like to use a verse of Scripture that actually reminds me of Commissioner Rhonda Lee, and probably the rest of you commissioners also. It's found in 2 Chronicles 31 and 21, and you can use the gender of your choice. And in every work that he began in the service of the house of God, and in the law and in the commandments to seek his God, he did it with all his heart and prospered. The general rule of reason is that those individuals prosper who do their work with all their hearts, while those who do their work half-heartedly are almost certain to fail. God, in reason, is pleased to send success to those who dig in the field and find its treasures. It's commonly accepted that if an individual would prosper, one must be diligent in all that is attempted. The late, great Lady Ball's coach, Pat Summitt, used to have a saying, "We are not a team, we're a cult," meaning that we go beyond the bounds of the ordinary. And she certainly proved her philosophy, being a pioneer unparalleled in basketball success with 982 wins, the most of any coach in basketball, men's or women's, along with 8 national championships. May I say of you, ladies and gentlemen, who made yourself available to God and community to be his and our servants, all of you have other businesses, jobs, and families. You are out of the ordinary, and you are to be commended and given the highest respect and honor. When it comes to criticism and ridicule, preachers and politicians seems to fall into the same category. It's usually always open season. But may I remind you, it's not unusual to see an eagle circling high with smaller birds with the agility of smallness picking at the majestic eagle. The eagle seems not to notice the smaller birds, but just keeps on circling higher and higher until out of reach of the pestering petites. When the people were threatened with annihilation by an evil force, Queen Esther was informed by her godly cousin Mordecai, quote, "And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" For such a time as this, with violence, bloodshed, division, even our schools and houses of worship aren't safe anymore. Yes, for such a time as this, we are indeed in need of and blessed to have leaders such as you. Thank you for your valuable service. God has chosen you to do a special work. I leave you with a scripture in 2 Samuel chapter 23, verse 1, 3, and 4. Now these be the last words of David, David the son of Jesse, a man who was raised up on high, the anointed of God. The Spirit of the Lord spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. The God of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me. He that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of God. He shall be as the light of the morning, when the sun riseth, even a morning without clouds, as the tender grass springing out of the earth by clear shining after the rain. Let us pray. Mighty God, our Father, we thank you this day for life, health, and strength. We thank you for living in a great country like the United States of America, where we have the liberty and freedom for such an event as we are having today. We thank you for concerned citizens that are willing to come out and make their views known so that our elected officials can more wisely make their decisions. Bless each person for giving their solemn and sincere views. We thank you for the women and men who are leading in our local government. We ask your blessings on them and their families. Bless their every meeting with wisdom, courage, and kindness. Lead them and us in the paths of righteousness for your name's sake. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen, and thank you.
Thank you. I would now look to Commissioner Beeler for tonight's Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please stand, render a proper salute to our nation's flag, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Beeler. Commissioners, we have some additions, deferrals, withdrawals, and of course our non-consent items. Our additions are items number 27, 41, and 45. Our deferrals are numbers 33 and 38. Withdrawals, 35, 36, and 37. And our non-consent items include items 25 through 27, 30, 31, and 39 through 45. And Commissioners, with 39, 40, and 41, those are our resolutions that deal with the AMR contract. I would like to reorder 41 and then 40, because 40 may be irrelevant if we do pass 41. So when we get to the AMR, it will be 39, then 41, and then 40, if there are no objections. And I will repeat our non-consent items again. 25, 26, 27, 30, 31, 39 through 45. Is there a motion to set the agenda?
So moved.
Commissioner Daly?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Public forum tonight is, the first public forum is for agenda items only,
Correct.
and we need to follow that rule tonight. And I'm going to request at 6:45, thereabouts, that we take a recess so we can get ready for zonings.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Is there any more discussion? Motion is made by Commissioner Frazier with a second by Commissioner Hill. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk, next time. Yes. Okay. So now we are to our education and general government consent calendar. Is there a motion?
Motion to pass the education and general government consent calendars.
Motion by Commissioner Jay with a second by Commissioner Ward. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Next item is number 25, Resolution R-22-12-101. It's honoring the Knox County Finance Department for earning the Triple Crown of Finance reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Schoonmaker with a second by Commissioner Beeler. Madam Clerk, will you please read this resolution? This, and Commissioners, this was brought forth because, as you all are all aware, our finance department is, in my opinion, the best in the country. Director Caldwell and his staff are just top-notch people who they come to us with problems before we can even find them, and they already have the solution. And so their ability to just foresee what's going to happen and take care of it is impeccable. And we are all grateful that you are a part of our county government. And so, Madam Clerk, if you don't care, please read our resolution.
Point of order. Could we have the finance team that's in the audience come down to the podium so they can?
Sure. Director Caldwell, if you would please approach the podium, and if your team members are present, we would love to have them as well.
This is called getting volunteered at the last minute. Y'all can come closer, so the camera can see you.
Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas the Knox County Finance Department recently achieved the Triple Crown of Governmental Accounting and Finance reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association, better known as the GFOA, by receiving all three of its awards, namely the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, and the popular Annual Financial Reporting Award. And whereas the GFOA, a nonprofit founded in 1906, studies and reviews planning, financing, and implementation of thousands of governmental operations throughout the United States and Canada, with the mission to advance excellence in public finance. And whereas Knox County is one of just 317 governments that receive the honor, with over 19,000 governments part of the GFOA. This represents less than 2%? Finance people know that right off the hand. Of GFOA members obtaining the Triple Crown. And whereas, remarkably, this is the third consecutive year
that the Knox County Finance Department has achieved the coveted GFOA Triple Crown designation, meeting the high standards of all three separate award programs, and whereas the Knox County Commission wishes to recognize and applaud the dedicated and hardworking employees of the Knox County Finance Department for their award-winning financial reporting. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Commission of Knox County as follows. The Commission of Knox County hereby honors the Knox County Finance Department upon the occasion of its receipt of the Governmental Finance Officers Association's Triple Crown for financial reporting. Knox County government is very fortunate to have dedicated employees who strive for professional excellence for the benefit of our community. Be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to the Knox County Finance Department. Be it further resolved that this resolution is to take effect from its passage as provided by the Charter of Knox County, Tennessee, the public welfare requiring it. And Mr. Caldwell has a 20-minute speech that he would like to, on behalf of his team, accept the award. No. Congratulations.
I'll be brief. The team that's behind me, which is just a part of our team, not our whole team, do an amazing job and make me look good every day, which is very hard to do. And so you only see me as the face, but the work that they do is unparalleled. And whereas you said we are very blessed to have the staff that we have that oftentimes brings me solutions to problems I don't even know exist. And so I commend them for the job well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, we didn't vote on that resolution. So we will vote on that resolution right now to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, next item.
The next item is Resolution R-22-12-102. It's honoring Bishop Billy McCool for 65 years of pastoring the First Apostolic Church of Knoxville.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Lee with a second by Commissioner Ward. Jay? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Commissioner Lee, you have the floor.
Commissioners, whereas Reverend Billy McCool, members of our church call him Bishop McCool. He's the founding pastor of First Apostolic Church of Knoxville. He's celebrating 65 years pastoring the First Apostolic Church of Knoxville. Whereas Bishop Billy McCool began his ministry at the age 11 in Charter Oak, Missouri, and he met his wife Betty at a tent revival that he was preaching as a young man. Whereas Bishop McCool and Betty were later married in 1956, and immediately they began evangelizing across the country. And whereas in 1957, Bishop and Sister McCool came to Knoxville with a calling from God and a dream of constructing a church, Christian school, and child care center. Whereas Bishop McCool and Sister McCool, who faithfully served alongside him, had a faithful, fruitful ministry, having seen their dream fulfilled with the founding of First Apostolic Church, Apostolic Christian School, and Apostolic Kitty Academy. And whereas Bishop McCool and Sister McCool have been the facilitators of many sister churches, such as Eagle Bend Apostolic Church in Clinton, Tennessee, and First Apostolic Church in Maryville, Tennessee. Whereas Bishop and Sister McCool still oversee and serve First Apostolic Church in a great capacity with their dynamic preaching and passionate leadership. And whereas, with the help of precious dedicated helpers, thousands have come through the ministry of Bishop and Sister McCool and the First Apostolic Church of Knoxville. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Commission of Knox County as follows. The Knox County Commission hereby honors Bishop Billy McCool for 65 years of faithfully pastoring the First Apostolic Church of Knoxville and the positive impact he has had on so many lives through his passion-filled ministry. Be it there further resolved that the resolution be presented to Bishop Billy McCool. Be it further resolved that this resolution is to take effect from here and after its passage as provided by the Charter of Knox County, Tennessee, and the public welfare requiring it. Thank you, Billy McCool.
This award is owed to this lady standing beside me. Day after tomorrow, she will be 86. And she's been with me for 66 years. I wrote a song that says she's a beautiful lady. She's in her 80s, but she still seems like 20 to me. Words can't describe her. There's no other like her. What a lovely lady is she. She's my lifelong lover. She's a godly grandmother. She's modest, she's humble, she's bold. Her charm is ageless. None can dispute it because angels never grow old. Phoebe, you've got to come with me.
Thank you, Bishop McCool, for your years of service. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
It's Resolution R-22-12-103, honoring Randy Smith for being named the Tennessee Prima Risk Manager of the Year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Ward with a second by Commissioner Oster. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
I was going to say Commissioner Smith, but Mr. Smith, could you meet me down at the podium? And I don't think I can do any better than that, so could the clerk please read the resolution, because that was pretty awesome.
These, I should have had them standing up with me right there, because they are very much a part of this.
Thank you, sir. Great words.
Whereas Randy Smith, Knox County's Director of Risk Management, was recently named the 2022 Risk Manager of the Year by the Tennessee Public Risk Management Association, 10 Prima, and whereas the 10 Prima Risk Manager of the Year award honors an individual who exemplifies excellence, innovation, and commitment to the risk management field, and whereas nominees are evaluated by a panel of risk management professionals on achieving success for their respective entity and the risk management profession. And whereas Randy Smith is the first risk manager from Knox County government to be named the 10 Prima Risk Manager of the Year. And whereas the Knox County Commission desires to recognize and congratulate Randy Smith for his exemplary work in risk management to win this coveted award. Now therefore be it resolved by the Commission of Knox County as follows. The Knox County Commission hereby honors Randy Smith for being named the 2022 Tennessee Prima Risk Manager of the Year and applauds his dedication to providing quality, safety, and risk management programs within Knox County government. Be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to Randy Smith. Be it further resolved that this resolution is to take effect from and after its passage as provided by the Charter of Knox County, Tennessee, the public welfare requiring it.
Thank you, Clerk. I just want to say congratulations to somebody that's been a friend and a mentor to me, and I know I speak for all of us when we say we're very proud of you and your team and all the great work you've done, and if you'd like to say anything, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Kyle. First, I was very surprised, humbled, and honored to be presented this by 10 Prima. 10 Prima is an outstanding organization that provides excellent educational material and an amazing networking platform that allows risk managers from all across the state to share their experience and knowledge with each other. I want to take time to thank some people that make our risk management program work, and I'll start with the mayor and his administration and their support for our risk management mission. Our employees at Knox County, we like to call them teammates, but their buy-in and participation in our programs is what makes the system work. The law department, especially Evan Hauser, our workers' comp attorney, he is fabulous. Adam Parsons is the safety manager for the school system. He partners a great deal with us in helping us. But I really want to thank my teammates in risk management. Ron Benj is our safety manager. Melissa Ramsey is our workers' comp and general liability coordinator. David Grindstaff is our IT risk manager. Beth Ross is our HIPAA and privacy officer. And Carly Pearson is our ADA coordinator. These folks are dedicated to the citizens of Knox County and the taxpayer and do an exceptional job. I am just blessed and fortunate to be their leader. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Smith, for all that you do for Knox County and have done. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Presentation of Rural Metro Monthly Report by Jeff Bagwell.
Captain Bagwell, please join us at the podium.
Well, Madam Chair, Commissioners, good to see you. Jeff Bagwell, 160 North Campbell Station Road in Farragut. Our monthly report for November 2022, 980 medical first responder calls, 110 car crashes, and that seems to be on the rise every day, 48 structure fires, 82 false alarms, 21 hazardous conditions, 283 lift assist, smoke investigations, and 304 car fires, brush fires, or rubbish fires, for a total of 1,830, with an average staffing per fire engine of 3 firefighters. We responded to properties just valued at over $17,152 and a property loss of $358,000, which means we saved an average of 97.91% of the valued property, which is in most people's worlds, outstanding. With an average response time of 4 minutes and with 60% of the reported fires being contained to the room of origin. Station 30 in Halls continues to be the busiest with 220 emergencies, and Station 41 in Farragut is in second at 142. You see the drop-off from Halls to Farragut, and we still don't understand that. The North Battalion continues to be the busiest with 606 emergencies, again almost 300 more than any other part of Knox County. And the busiest hours in November were between 5 and 6 p.m. I have mentioned our fleet services before, but I want to highlight their accomplishments and the challenges they face on a daily basis. To give you some perspective on what they manage just from the fire side of our business, 20 fire engines, 2 aerial ladder trucks, 5 water tenders, 3 squads, and 7 staff vehicles, and that doesn't even touch the number of ambulances that they maintain and keep on the road every day for AMR. We just received 2 new expeditions, and a new pumper that we ordered in February of this year will not be delivered until September of 23. Supply chain issues. It's safe to say they've got their hands full, their plates are full. We are simply grateful for their sense of dedication and service, not only to us, but also to the citizens of Knox County. And just so you can put the numbers into the proper perspective, there are 5 of them for all of that. We are in the holiday season, so I will be brief, I promise. Let me be the first from Rural Metro Fire to wish each and every one of you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We recently had our annual Christmas party, and we were blessed to honor our Firefighter of the Year, Garrett Dobbs, and our Fire Officer of the Year, Josh McKnight. You'll get to meet them probably later. I don't know if you can view this video or not, but there is a video from the Christmas party where we were blessed to have some of our county commissioners in attendance, and we had a great time with them, and hopefully more of you can come next time. I don't know if Drusilla can show that video, but that's okay. It was a good video.
I'm pretty sure we're having technical difficulties, so...
You're the one that told me to show it.
No, it was
But it's
not.
good. I promise. Drusilla can share it later. Any questions?
Commissioner Frazier.
Thank you, Captain Bagwell. You said that there were 110 car crashes and those are on the rise. Can you tell me what are some of the factors that are causing those accidents?
Absolutely. Here recently, it's distracted driving, and that has to do probably with the season that we're in. We have a lot of people that are focused on things other than driving from point A to point B, and they're too busy worrying about getting to the mall quicker or getting to Walmart in a hurry. That's the biggest reason. It's always distracted driving.
Seeing no other lights on, thank you, Captain Bagwell.
All right.
And
Thank you.
happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Presentation to provide an update on child health by Eddie Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commission, for allowing us to be here tonight. One of the things that we want to share with you is just the state of child abuse in Knox County and things that are happening right here in our community. The next slide that you'll see, that's just a picture of our advocacy center that's located just about 0.8 of a mile from here. But what's most shocking is what happens in that building every single day. So as you see on this next slide, this is where we've been over the last 5 years. Now, our advocacy center only serves Knox County. In 2018, you can see we had 1,316 kids that came through our door due to abuse or neglect. That was trending down, and in 2020, when the global pandemic hit, we had to move to an emergency-only situation where we were only doing things that were emergency. But what you can see coming out of the pandemic is the rise of child abuse and neglect in our community. 1,921 kids served last year. We're already at 1,383 at the end of November, with still, we don't have all of December obviously completed. We project it's going to be around 1,500 just based on current caseloads and things. But that is a tremendous increase for just one county. Last year, our advocacy center became the second busiest child advocacy center in the state of Tennessee. Only Shelby County was busier, and they weren't ahead by a lot. So that's both good news and bad news in what we're presenting, because the good news is what is happening in Knox County, thanks to our DA, is perpetrators are being put behind bars quickly. I believe this year the DA, Sharm Allen, and her team have an 83-0 record. 83 convictions, 0 acquittals. It's over 475 years of prison time for perpetrators against child abuse. And what you'll see on the next slide, this is the one that is probably the most, these next two are where my heart goes as a dad. When you look at it by age group, 7 to 12 is where we see most of the kids in Knox County that are being abused. In 2021, 832, almost double the number of kids that suffered abuse and neglect. This year, it's still up. It's down to 591. But then look at that 0 to 6. These are babies that are being abused and neglected in our community. We'll have updated numbers that we'll share with you. This next one, as a dad of a 16-year-old daughter, troubles my heart the most. And that's at our advocacy centers. You'll see on this next slide, 72% of the kids that we see suffered sexual abuse. 999 kids, the next slide if you can, 999 kids that our SIPIT team, which is made up of our Vonda, her team, through our advocacy center, the Department of Children's Services is there, Knox County Sheriff's Office, KPD, as well as the DA's office that reviews every single case, whether it be drug exposure to sexual abuse. 72% of the kids that we see from right here in this county suffered sexual abuse. And while that may seem like very down numbers right here at Christmas season, the reason I share with you these numbers is because there's light at the end of the tunnel. 1 year ago at this meeting, you all, at the recommendation of Mayor Jacobs, passed funding to help us with our mental health services. I want to turn it over now to my colleague, Vonda McGill, who is the director of our Child Advocacy Center, as well as our mental health clinic, just to share the light in the darkness that you all have helped us to bring this year.
Thank you so much for letting us give you an update this year. I've been with Child Help for 9 years, and I have seen 100 kids plus on our wait list for those 9 years until 2022. So I'm thrilled to be here tonight to share with you the progress that we're making in our community. What happens when children don't get immediate mental health treatment after suffering a trauma? Usually, what happened before 2022 was they would have to wait 6 to 9 months to a year to get into therapy. And when we would call those families, when we would finally have an opening, many times the families would say, we're fine right now. We don't need to come in. The family's dealing with it. The children are bearing the symptoms. So we would often lose those children and not be able to get them into treatment. If you can go to the next slide. This shows you our therapy wait list. As I mentioned, it has been 100 plus for a very long time. With the addition of the ARPA funds last year, we have a 30 client wait list at this time. And that is a drastic improvement, considering that we have had to make families wait after suffering abuse. You can see in 2021, we did add another therapist. We found some additional funding in the community and added another therapist, but our wait list didn't go down. We had reverberation from COVID. We had recovery from COVID. We had a lot of kids in 2021, and so we still maintained a very high wait list. Next slide. This shows our therapy sessions per week. Prior to 2022, we had 1 to 2 therapists. With the addition of the ARPA funds, we now have 5 therapists, and we are serving 125 kids in our therapy clinic every week. We have therapists that are trained in evidence-based trauma therapy. We use trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. We use eye movement desensitization reprocessing therapy. We use parent-child interaction therapy, and we use play therapy. We do have littles as young as 3 years old come in, and of course we see up to 18 years old. We have a child-friendly room where kids can come in. We have teen items, we have sand, we have art, we have therapeutic games. So these children are able to come into a therapy session and start to process their therapy and their issues. Next slide. So projecting our therapy sessions with the ARPA funds, we went up to 125 per week. We are actually restarting a new program with some funding in January, and we estimate being able to hire 3 more therapists, which will totally reduce our wait list to 0 and will enable us to be able to immediately get children in, which has been the goal for me since I started at Child Help. We have, as Eddie said, mostly sexual abuse cases, but we do have physical abuse, maltreatment, neglect, drug exposure, domestic violence, witness to homicide, trafficking victims. So all of those kids can come and get specialized therapy with us. Just 2 weeks ago, our team dealt with a case where we had 2 siblings who witnessed the death of their mother by murder and then the death of their father by suicide. And we were able to get them into the CAC that day, start to help them with the investigation. But we were able to then get them into therapy within 2 days. And they were able to actually come into a child-friendly center and actually try to start making sense of what had happened. I mean, their lives had changed in the course of a minute. So the ARPA funds, I believe, have helped us be able to prioritize these cases, get these kids in immediately. A month ago, we had a 12-year-old who was being sexually abused by her adult male cousin in the home. He was living with them. And she had not told anybody because he had threatened to kill her dad if she told. At a doctor's appointment, the doctors seemed concerned, and she finally disclosed that, yes, she was being sexually abused. We were able to get that 12-year-old in within 3 days and get her started on her path to healing. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for the difference that the ARPA funds are making in our community, and for these families that are walking through the most horrendous situation that any of us could imagine, but they have people that are trained to help them walk through that and to help them, guide them to healing and hope.
And then as we finish up, what you'll see, and all of this is in your all's packet. And again, I know it's a little bit heavy, but look at the funding sources, because again, you know, one of the things that I am keenly aware of is making sure that we stay diversified. So as you can see on here, the funding that you all provided last year through the ARPA funds, it's a 3-year contract basically that we've got to draw those down. That makes up about 37% of the total funding for our mental health clinic. It's about $650,000 just to be able to provide 8 therapists and therapy for those kids. The city of Knoxville kicked in some funding as well through their ARPA fund. The United Way came along. The state of Tennessee through another program that I'm getting ready to share with you. And then private grants and funding, where we go out in the community and find additional resources to help keep this going. So again, we're not asking and relying solely on Knox County, but we are extremely grateful. And again, as Vonda shared, those were just 2 of the almost 3,000 stories over the last year that we could share with you. And how important that what you did. You know, a lot of times you vote on something and you never hear again until they come asking for more money. We wanted you to know a year later what kind of impact you're having through your votes right here on kids in this community. Of the kids that we serve in Knox County, 70% actually reside in Knox County, because these kids also come through our foster family agency. We cover 17 counties in East Tennessee. But 70% of the kids in our mental health center are kids that reside right here in Knox County. The last thing that I want to share with you all is starting, and it's about 2 slides ahead, is something that is going to be a resource for you all. It's going to be a resource for the mayor's office and for everyone who works in government. Starting in January, thanks to something that we worked on with the governor's office last year, the General Assembly, and DCS, there are 109,000 kids in our state right now that live in a home where neither parent reside. In and around Knox County, that's about 16,000 kids that live right here where neither parent reside. So we've got a new program. It's the Relative Care Program that will help keep kids in their homes, in their families, so that they don't have to enter the state's foster care system. We've all seen in the news the last few weeks just the struggles that DCS is having. We could go on and on for hours about what all's happened because of the pandemic, some federal legislation. But we know that a kid is best served when able to stay with either grandparents or relatives. So this new program will help them to meet, if they meet 200% of the federal poverty level, they will get a 50% of the daily foster care stipend to help them care for kids in their home. Because a lot of these kids also suffer educational neglect. We've got some funding in these grants to provide educational wraparound services to help get the kids back up. We're working with other community partners, funding that you all already do through the CAC, through ETHRA, to help with workforce development so that the caregivers who may not have advanced degrees or better paying jobs can get those, so that we're helping to lift the entire family up. We're not just putting money to plug a hole. We're trying to raise the tide raise all boats with the tide. So there's a lot of great things going on in Knox County. Again, it's in your packet on the relative care program that we're launching. We don't know, honestly, DCS doesn't fully know yet how many kids we're going to serve. Our relative care program will serve the same 17 counties, which is all of Knox, all of East, and all of Smoky, that our foster family agency does. So if you all know of someone, if the school system knows something, you can contact us and we can get help to those kids very quickly. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your service. Trust me, I know sitting up there and listening to presentations, sometimes you're like, you'd rather be somewhere on a golf course. Many of you may actually be thinking about the warm sun, considering it's going to be 10 degrees this week, of somewhere balmy to be. But I thank you for your service, because serving, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice for you. It's a sacrifice for your families, and I know that. So thank you all for everything that you do for Knox County. Thank you for what you've done for the kids in Knox County, and I hope you all have a wonderful and very blessed Christmas. And with that, I'll pause for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Commissioner Jay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the presentation. It's eye-opening and helpful to understand what we're investing in and what the impact is making. This is year 1 of 3. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Do you have a plan starting in year 4?
We do. One of the things that we are in the process of starting on is being able to do third-party billing. So the state of Tennessee puts quite a bit of money for that you can draw down, but you have to get all of your therapists approved through TennCare. Then you have to get your agency. So that just takes a long time. So being able to do third-party billing will help us backfill a lot of that gap. And then there's a lot of new funding coming down through the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse because everyone recognizes right now that we are in a crisis for our kids. I believe the Children's Hospital Association has declared it a nationwide crisis. So that will help fill some of the hole. And then obviously we'll be coming back, but it's still too early to say where we're going to need the county. I don't think it's going to be at the level that you all have been at because, again, we're trying to diversify that funding. But I also want to say that the donors in Knox County are extremely generous. Through all the events that we do throughout the year, when I first came to Child Help, we were raising about $180,000 a year of just private funds. We're well over $700,000 right this minute. So the donors in Knox County are extremely beneficial as well. So we're trying to keep our funding diversified just so that we're not relying on any one source, because we know that you all are not choosing between good and bad. You're choosing, as Governor Haslam said, between good and good. And you all have finite resources to allocate, so we want to be respectful with that when we come to you all with a request in the future as well.
Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I don't have a question. I just want to say that I had the great opportunity of visiting Child Help and walking those halls. And if you get the opportunity, please go and see what they do. The work that you are doing is so impactful and it is so important. And I just want to thank you personally for the work that you do and the service that you're providing the children in Knox County. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners, and thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do for our children. This brings us to public forum. Under our rules, those who have signed up to speak on a particular agenda item may speak at this time. We have 4 signed up to speak to this agenda. First up will be Vivian Shipe, followed by Ira Grimes, Carrie Williams, and Keith Britt. So, Ms. Shipe, if you're here, would you please approach the podium, state your name and county of residence for the record, and you will have 3 minutes due to the volume of public forum speakers we have signed up for our later portion.
Vivian Shipe, 3615 Martin Luther King Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37914. Tonight I've come to tell you the story of a citizen of Knoxville. I want you to see them. They're sitting by themselves on a patch of ground that they painstakingly clean to the best of their ability. Indeed, if you look closer, you will see the spot they're cleaning is cleaner than any spot around them. Over and over, they brush off the spot, set their bottle of water down, pick it up, take a sip, clean the spot, set the bottle of water down again. This happens over and over and over. A person walking by is overheard to say, "Just look at that. They're probably high on some type of drug. Let's cross the street in case they come near and ask for some money. It's downright disgusting. They need to get a job." But let's you and I stop and look. When we stop, we learn, yes, this citizen is homeless, but the root of the homelessness is the mental trauma that they have suffered. Once a happy working citizen known for being very health conscious, always clean and neat, life has taken its toll, taking their health, their jobs, their homes, even their children. The blows have been too much, and they're unable to rise up. So mentally they're drowning, homeless, mentally suffering, with the vestiges of the memories of the need to stay neat and clean, and the healthy benefits of water peeking through the pain that covers their mind and heart. You see, they're not on any kind of drug. They're lost, and we who have resolved to help them are moving too slowly. You see, a few weeks ago, a resolution was made right here in this very room, a call for unity, much like the discussions that will be going on about unity tonight by others who are here. I've come to ask for an update. Has the call been made to the mayor, to the vice mayor, Roberto, for the city to join in the effort to create spaces for those suffering from mental illness? Has the meeting date been set for the task force that Larson and Kyle are going to develop? And what is the dollar amount in the millions that the county will be asked to match by the state as we go forth? We are resolved to build housing for our citizens suffering mental trauma. You see, it cannot be an empty promise. That citizen you stopped and looked at may never make it back mentally. If they can't, where is the housing that we can provide? That citizen may need the type of housing that provides wraparound services as they slowly but confidently begin to stand again. Have we begun to prepare for them? This can be done. We have unified and done it before. City and county, local citizens, police and the sheriff's department, doctors, counselors, and the DA office, all of us work together to build that safety center now called the BHUC on Western Avenue. Now we need more of those all over the city and the county. The sheriff department needs spaces to take citizens in crisis near them and not have to drive into the city. The jail is not an ER, nor is it a place for healing. We must be able to stabilize and restore our people, but to do that we must begin. Let 2023 be the beginning and the year of intentionality. When and not if you set that task force up, call for the people who are here in the community to join you. We are waiting. We will not let this go. We will not cross the street. We won't judge. We are better together, so let us begin.
Thank you, Ms. Shipe, and I'd also like to wish you a belated happy birthday. Next up is Ira Grimes. Please approach the podium and state your name and county of residence for the record. Ira Grimes. Okay. Next is Carrie Williams. Carrie Williams. Next is Keith Britt. State your name and county of residence for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Keith Britt, 506 Knowlton Drive. On November 15th, the United States Senate passed the National Defense Authorization Act that will repeal the COVID-19 vaccine mandate for our military members. This act was passed by a bipartisan majority in both the Senate and the House. I want to thank Commissioner Jay for correctly predicting this is the exact point we'd find ourselves at today before your final vote on Resolution 22-12-904. The actions of the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate have rendered that resolution nonsensical, even if before it was just politically performative. To quote Senator Blackburn, it's official, the FY 2023 National Defense Authorization Act has passed the Senate with my measure to repeal Biden's military COVID vaccine mandate. To quote Governor Lee, for months, Tennessee has pushed back against the federal COVID-19 vaccine mandate placed on members of our military, and our efforts have paid off. By continuing to consider, discuss, or vote on 22-12-904, this commission conjures up visions of an old man yelling at the clouds, of a hammer desperately looking for a nail, of a clown with no audience, a state which Reuben Carter described as a man without dignity. For the dignity of our county, with respect for the body which you serve, please withdraw R 22-12-904. Furthermore, please request that the Knox County Health Department and Knox County Schools brief you at your next work session on the state of childhood vaccination rates within the county and the state. Godspeed.
Thank you, sir. Ira Grimes or Carrie Williams, are either of you present? This concludes our public forum for agenda items. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Hill with a second by Commissioner Oster. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk, next item.
Consideration of the acceptance of new county roads. A, B, and C are all in Hickory Creek Farms, Unit 1, District 6. A is Myrtle Ridge Lane. B, Izzy Mule Lane. C, Normay Road. D, E, and F are all in the Woods at Shoto, District 5. D is Shiloh Valley Lane. E, Rocky Slope Lane. F is Green Parrot Drive. And G and H are both in Cottages at Governor's Landing, District 9. G is Garden Crest Trail. H is Willow Bluff Circle.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Daly with a second by, who's going to take it? Commissioner Beeler. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk, next item.
Line item transfers, total amount of $204,736.12.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Jay with a second by Commissioner Schoonmaker. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk.
There are no budget amendments. The notary applications, we have 154.
Move to approve.
Second. I will second that. Motion to approve by Commissioner Jay with a second by Commissioner Durrett. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk.
Spread of record, item number 32. Spread of record, the Knox County Mayor's order reappointing Ann Acuff to the Board of Commissioners of the Northeast Knox Utility District. Item 33 has been deferred to January. Item 34 is the spread of record, the Employee Handbook of the Knox County Commission Office. Next item is item number 39, Resolution R-22-12-605. It's approving the 10th Amendment to contract number 12-500 with Rural Metro of Tennessee, LP, to provide medical ambulance services in Knox County, which amendment adds a response time exemption and a waiver of certain specific performance damages to begin on June 1st, 2022, and end on December 31st, 2022.
Commissioner Daly?
Yes, Madam Chair, just a point of order. Mr. Law Director, 35, 36, and 37, do we need to vote on their withdrawals, but does it need to be put into the record?
I think when you adopted your agenda at the beginning of the meeting, you affected.
Just want to make sure.
Okay, is there a motion on item number 39? Okay. Commissioner Daly?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess I'll go first.
We need a motion.
Well, I want to make this motion because I thought I'd probably have to do it in a substitute motion, but we'll see.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Beeler with a second by Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Daly?
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, or former Chairman, Commissioner Beeler. As we all know, this is a very, very, very touchy subject. You know, since last Monday, I've been to a few outings, and citizens are asking me what's going on with the ambulance and everything, and they're concerned that they need an ambulance. I'm concerned that we need an ambulance service. I'm concerned that our ambulance service cannot lose $4 million. Highly concerned about that. Like I said last week, we've got 9 counties, a couple of states or whatever are sending patients in to us, and it's taking up that bed space. And that's, you know, I would be too. I would be coming to Knox County. I'd be coming to UT or wherever. But you can't punish a service that has very little control. Sure, they can take a patient and dump them off at the hospital and turn around and leave them. But how does that look? You know, would I want my mom or my dad or anyone go to the hospital in an ambulance, which you can't go back there, and they drop that patient off and they leave, and they're back there by themselves? I've been there. I know that you can't go back there with them, especially with the COVID rates and everything else that's going on these days. There's so many good examples of, let's not find a way to punish or penalize a service that we really need in Knox County. Let's find a way to help to make sure that between January the 1st, 2023 and December 31st, 2023, that we find a way to make it work. That we have an ambulance service, that we have an ambulance there that's not service, or anyone really can not lose millions and millions of dollars. Like I said last week, the only ones I know lose millions of dollars is airlines, and they still stay in business. And I don't know how they do that. They do. I am going to make a substitute motion. I do like I've read over the new contract. Mr. Van de Beek, would you come up just a second there? We've come up with I guess it's a revision, 3 or 4, since Monday or something like that. Amendment 11 provides the following revisions to the contract. It's in effect from January 1st through the That's what I thought that's one we were going to.
We're on 39. 41 is Amendment 11.
No, that's what I thought we were on, was on that one.
Madam Chair, could you or Mr. Van de Beek, could you somebody just outline very briefly what 39, 40, and 41, just give us the bullet points, because we have 3 different actions. I just want to make sure we're all clear about which one.
Mr. Van de Beek, if you would, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners Daly and Jay. Glad to do so, and we recognize it is confusing. There are a lot of moving parts here. Item 39 is Amendment 10, and it simply extends the terms of Amendment 9 that Commission has previously approved, which granted the fine relief that Commissioner Daly has spoken of, as well as added a waiver of level 0 fines, and it runs through December 31st of this year. So it is for the next 2 weeks. Having heard Commission last week and some of the concerns that were outlined, we have Amendment 11, which is item 41. That will cover a couple things. One, it resets the penalty structure using the figures that you see on the spreadsheet that Mr. Parton prepared. Two, and importantly, it extends the contract. Amendment 10 does not, Amendment 11 does. The contract currently expires June 30th of 2023. Amendment 11 would extend it through January 31st of 2024. Commissioner Schoonmaker, if you don't mind me following up on your email, he raised a very good question. I don't think we've covered this well enough. The reason we went 7 months through the end of January is so that in the event when the RFP process is complete, we are changing providers. We are not changing providers in the month of December. There are some logistical implications for that, including radio compatibility with the 911 center, and this suggestion was actually raised by Director Anders originally to not change in the month of December. Also, somebody, whether it's if we do have a new provider, they're going to be tasked with moving a management team. That's going to be a challenge in the month of December, and so forth. So December is simply a difficult month for a new company to come in and establish themselves in the market. So the decision was made to request an extension for 7 months, which puts us at the end of January. So again, Amendment 10 extends Amendment 9 and adds level 0 penalty waiver and runs through the end of this calendar year. Amendment 11 establishes the new penalty structure and extends the contract through January 31st of 2024. Item 40 is an 803 letter, which if this body were to approve Amendments 10 and 11 is unnecessary, but the 803 letter is a contractual requirement that we send a notice to the provider 6 months before the termination date of the contract. If you extend the contract, there's no need for the letter, so that item would be withdrawn.
I support Commissioner Beeler's motion.
Is there any more discussion on item number 39? Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Vandervate, thanks for that quick overview. On the forgiveness of the amounts through December 31st, approximately how much is that?
If I might, Commissioner Schoonmaker, let me defer to Mr. Parton on that. He has been our numbers man throughout this process. He should have a good estimate for you on those figures.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good evening, Kevin Parton, Knox County Health Department. Through October, you would be at $4.3 million, June through October.
Okay, and so you haven't assessed any fines for November then?
We haven't done the compliance meeting as of yet, so we'll do that at the beginning of
January. It could be conceivably $5 million?
Very easily.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any more discussion on this item? The motion on the floor is to approve. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk, we're item number 41.
This is Resolution R-22-12-607. This is a resolution approving the 11th Amendment to Contract Number 12-500 with Rural Metro of Tennessee, LP, to provide medical ambulance services in Knox County, which amendment revises several sections of the agreement to begin on January the 1st, 2023, and extends the term of the agreement to end on January 31st, 2024.
Is there a motion for this item?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Jay with a second by Commissioner Beeler. Commissioner Daly, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I want to make a substitute motion here so we can vote on it first. Mr. Van Dyke, I do like the, Amendment 11, except for this 30-minute or longer, 10,000 per event penalty. On that, I would like to see that. I'm going to make a motion to drop that to 5,000 on that penalty.
That's at the discretion of commission, sir. We were just trying to be responsive to some of the concerns we heard at Monday's meeting, but certainly any and all of the figures are subject to commission discretion. I will say that Mr. Parton did an amazing job in establishing those figures. He turned back to the original contract. Again, there are an awful lot of moving parts. Recognize the fact that we were waiving all penalties for low acuity patients and also removing the provisions for level 1 or should be level 0 penalties, and then adjusted the figures accordingly. So I wouldn't want this body to think they were simply out of the ether. There was a framework and some considerable consideration given to how those figures were established, but certainly it's at the discretion of commission, and we recognize that the $10,000 figure was a large one.
Second the motion. Substitute.
You are the motion. You're the original motion to approve.
Let me finish. Sorry. Yeah. The substitute motion is going to be to approve Amendment 11 with 30 minutes or longer down to 5,000 per event. And the reason that I want to do that is that we are not going back to the red and yellow. So that means AMR has to meet those criteria. There's no more red or yellow. 3 hospitals has to be in red and yellow. So there's a criteria that has to be met. So Commissioner Jay's correct. That was my motion. I make a motion that we approve Amendment 11 with 30 minutes or longer at 5,000 per event.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Daly. So the substitute motion on the floor is for the high acuity 30-minute plus penalty to be $5,000, and that's by Commissioner Daly with a second by Commissioner Jay. Commissioner Schoonmaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Daly, just so that we're all clear on this, you're talking about on the 11th Amendment to Contract Number 12-500, Section 2, Number C, you're saying subsection 4, you want to change that amount but leave the other amounts intact?
Commissioner, I'm going to say yes because I'm looking at the letter from Mr. Van de Veen that has the Amendment 11 and the penalties. It doesn't tell me the sections. But if that's...
Okay, but we're voting on the amendment. I just want to clarify that we're...
17 to 19 is 1,000, 20 to 29 is 2,000, and the 30 minutes will be to 5,000. That it is in the agenda packet there. Is that correct? Is that what you're asking, Mr. Schoonmaker?
Yes, is that what you're looking at on the 2-page amendment?
Yes, sir. Now, that's what I understand Commissioner Daly's amendment to provide for.
Okay, so it is Section 2, Number C, subsection 4.
You'll have to give me just a minute for that, sir.
I mean, it's in our packet. I just want to make sure what we're voting on here.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I see it here. That is correct.
Okay, and Mr. Van der Vate's nodding his head, so. Okay. Thank you.
Is there any more discussion regarding the substitute motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go with it. Since that's the pleasure body. I'm an aye. That motion carries. So now, yes, now we're back to order. Yes.
Madam Chair, if we could, then we'd want to withdraw item 40.
Okay. We need a motion to withdraw item number 40.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to withdraw item 40.
Second.
Motion to withdraw item number 40 by Commissioner Beeler, with a second by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you. And if I could, I just would never want to miss an opportunity to recognize the work that Mr. Parton has done on this. And also, he sits quietly in the background and tries to avoid notice. But after many years of service, Larry Hutzel retired as our emergency response coordinator. We were very, very fortunate to recruit Mr. Steve Hamby away after 30 years of doing this sort of work for the state of Tennessee. Steve, give us a wave. Steve has been essential to us successfully moving this process forward. He brings decades of experience, and we're really proud to have him on the team. So we appreciate Commission's support. We know this has been a confusing process, but we are good for 13 months. We will be back before the body next month with an RFP for a consulting service to help us move forward again. So thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is number 42. It's Resolution R-22-12-901, approving an appropriation in the amount of $39,500 from the general fund to the Industrial Development Board of the County of Knox in support of workforce training efforts in Knox County.
Is there a motion on this item? Commissioner Oster?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Motion to approve by Commissioner Oster with a second by Commissioner Frazier. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Oster? No? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item number 43, Resolution R-22-12-904, is supporting the position of the Governor of Tennessee to protect the medical freedom of those serving in the Tennessee Army and Air National Guard and Tennessee State Guard, and urging the U.S. Congress to take appropriate action to remove and prohibit the Biden administration's COVID-19 vaccine mandate on members of the U.S. Armed Forces.
Is there a motion on this item? Commissioner Oster?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Oster with a second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion? Commissioner Schoonmaker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Oster, do you know, well, in public forum, someone mentioned that the House and Senate had passed it in the middle of November, but do you know if the President of the United States is supposed to sign it and whether he's done it, or because now 5 weeks have gone by, is he not going to sign that? Or
I believe that it's going to go to his desk. Whether he signs it or not is his choice. Yeah, I don't know what the President's going to do. I would imagine, I know.
Obviously,
but
it wasn't on a fast track.
No, it's not on a fast track.
Is there any more discussion for this item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Pass.
I'll pass too.
That motion carries. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item number 44, Resolution 906, is expressing support for expanding the membership of the Hallsdale-Powell Utility District Board of Commissioners from 3 to 7 members.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Lee. Is there a second? Seeing none, that motion dies due to lack of second. Okay. This brings us to public forum of open topics. We have quite a few signed up to speak this evening. And due to our zoning meeting that must begin at 7 p.m., we will take as many as we can have while allowing a brief break before 7 p.m. Those who have signed up for public forum open topics will have 3 minutes to speak, and I want to remind you to be courteous and respectful of everyone in this room. And please forgive me if I mispronounce your name. First on our list is Desaya Parker, then Anita Loggins, and then Candace Hess. So, Desaya Parker, if you're here, please come to the podium, state your name and county of residence, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Madam Clerk, may I have a quick point of privilege? I just wanted to make sure that those who have signed up know that they will be allowed to speak after zoning if we don't get to them before.
Thank you, Commissioner Beeler. That is true. We will recess once 7 p.m. is here for our zoning meeting, and then once zoning has concluded, those who have signed up for public forum will then have their chance to speak. Let's see. Desaya Parker, Anita Loggins. Are you here? No. Candace Hess. Marcus Lowry. John Zieda. If please approach the podium. Followed by Teresa Sexton, Will Bowen, and Walker Kinsler. Sir, please state your name and county of residence for the record, and you will have 3 minutes.
Knox County. I've been here 50 years, almost 60 next month.
Please state your name too, sir.
John Zieda.
Thank you.
To my surprise, I found out that the city of Knoxville, the fire department, will burn businesses. And if anybody in this room is interested for proof that the Knoxville Fire Department burned a business and blamed it on a black man that was indigent, I've got all the proof in the world. All the proof in the world. It's a fact. The city sent the fire department to 2700 Martin Luther King, 2 blocks away from Austin East High School, burned the store while the police department officer Booker was outside in the police car. This is a fact. All you have to do is make sure you get WBIR's news with the pictures of the fire. There's 3 pictures that are important in regards to the police report where it says no electric. The building had electric. They made an excuse to blame the fire on the black man, excuse the race. But they made the excuse to put the blame on him. Nobody burned it but the city. If anybody in this room doubts me, pick up the police report from the city, 12-048777. Once again, they burned it. And they blamed it. They said, India McDowell, why no electric? To make an excuse, he used a cigarette lighter. He couldn't see in a building with no electric. It was a lie. A very deceitful lie. My father's store was burned. We didn't know that the city is capable of burning a business down, even though our store was burnt minor. But we had an argument with a customer, and we're not going to discuss race, but that customer was sent to that store to lead us to think. Once again, I tell everybody here, if you think I'm exaggerating, get that police report, 12-048777, page 3, and see where it says no electric. And make sure WBIR, you get a request from them and see the pictures of the gas pump. It's hard to say, but that gas pump is lit. It was lit. Then we got the Parkway Hotel. Parkway Hotel, nobody burned it again but the city. But the city, the one on Chapman Highway. Think I'm crazy? Crazy as the whole story is, yes. Yes, crazy as the whole story. Since when can a government burn a city and blame it on someone? Since when? And if anybody thinks I'm exaggerating, I'm lying, I'm crazy, once again, take a look at that police report. Now,
Sir,
excuse me for my voice, because it is outrageous.
but your time has expired as well.
I know. 3 minutes. With all the fires that's been going on in the city, there's not enough time. Parkway Hotel, Kel Gameltoft on 17th Street, and my father's store, and the clinic, the abortion clinic. Never mind, they got Reno. It's another lie. I've got gas valves. The city will burn it with gas valves when the building's empty.
Okay.
I will apologize for the voice being loud. But I tell you, my accusation is accurate. And it is outrageous to be this accurate with this accusation. And I thank you for letting me be over.
Thank you.
And if anybody wants to get in touch with me, 865-335-4824.
Thank
I'll
you.
be happy to discuss anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Teresa Sexton, please approach the podium. Will Bowen. Up next, after Mr. Bowen, is Walker Kinsler, followed by Calvin DeBrell and Jesse Deeds. Please state your name and county of residence for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Will Bowen, Knox County. I wanted to speak about the Knox County Sheriff's Office. Commissioner Lundy had mentioned that it may be in our best interest to establish an advisory board due to recent events that have transpired that are very concerning to me, and I'm sure several other people. So a 15-year-old employee of McAllister's Deli on Shad Road in North Knoxville was fired after being slandered on social media by an employee of Knox County Sheriff's Office. Kimberly Glenn, the Knox County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman, who used her personal social media account to, again, a 15-year-old girl, talk about her in negative ways as a spokeswoman of this county's police department, which is frankly reprehensible for anybody to be mentioned like that by this county, especially a minor. A minor is being talked like that, is being talked about like that by a spokeswoman for this county sheriff's office, and it's wrong. It's wrong. Let me say this. An advisory board, it's by itself, it may not do anything, okay? And here is where we can fix that. We can have a functioning, well-functioning advisory board in this county. It has to have teeth. Advisory boards have to have teeth. It has to have the power to do something rather than just talk about it. Because if we have an advisory board that people just talk about what happens and they don't have the power to do anything other than just to come to the commission and speak, nothing gets done. So what I'm saying is this. This county needs an advisory board for our sheriff's office. and we need to have an advisory board that does something. This is not a partisan issue. This is an issue that we can all get behind, and I urge all of you to support Commissioner Lundy's advisory board. I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Walker Kinsler. Walker Kinsler. Calvin DeBrell. Please approach the podium, state your name and your county of residence, and you have 3 minutes.
1 second.
Followed by Jesse Deeds.
Ma'am, name's Calvin DeBrell. Our address is 5201 Holston Drive. Phone number 865-323-6824. Now, the young man who just spoke to you was talking about the situation in McAllister's Sheriff's Department. We're going deeper than that.
Will you get to the microphone so we can hear you?
We are going deeper than what happened at McAllister's with Sheriff's Department's deputies, okay? Now, is Judge Hickson here in this meeting? Is Judge McGee here in this meeting? Is Judge Green here in this meeting? Is Judge Sanchez in this meeting? Is Judge Sword in this meeting? Is Judge Spicer in this meeting? I'm getting a negative on that. Is Senator Lamar Alexander in this meeting? Is Congressman Tim Burchett at this meeting? Is TBI Director David Roush at this meeting? Is Governor Bill Lee at this meeting? Is Judge Tammy Harrington at this meeting, Blount County Judge? No. Is DA Charmaine Allen at this meeting? No. Now, let's back up a little bit. I was at the federal courthouse across the street here last week. I came in with documentation to give to U.S. Magistrate Judge Jill McCook concerning Sheriff's Deputy Chief David Henderson, who was the chief of the Narcotics Division. Now, he has mental issues now, but everybody, all these judges I mentioned beforehand, they don't. He spent 20 years dragging people in and out of these courtrooms, and as we stand here today, there are people sitting in prison behind his work with the help of these judges and Charmaine Allen's prosecutors. Now, what we're working on, I'll make this quick. Misprision of a felony, U.S. Code number 4, Tennessee Code 3916-503. If anybody has any questions and want to follow up with me with the information that I have, please feel free to give me a call, okay?
Thank you.
All right? We have people in danger in this community because you have law enforcement who are grabbing young girls in the middle of the night. Police officers are fired. No blowback. We have a young guy run over on Kingston Pike, killed. No blowback. We have problems with our law enforcement community running over people, and they come in here in these courtrooms, tell lies, and people are struggling to live. That's the reason you got a problem. And they don't run into people all the time, but with this one time, Here it is, Anthony Thompson's sister, who's killed in our sneeze. Instead of slowing things down, getting crisis negotiators involved, they go in there with that Rambo routine. Anthony Thompson is dead, his family suffering, and it just so happened that one time you got sheriff's deputies come in wanting the red carpet service, and we got a problem. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Jesse Deeds, are you here? Jesse Deeds?
Yeah. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is David Lee. I live at 4519 Owana Drive.
Mr. Lee, I called for Jesse Deeds.
Oh.
I apologize.
Excuse me.
It's okay. Jesse Deeds, not here. With that, we are going to recess this meeting and take a quick 8-minute break and go into our zoning meeting which will start at 7 p.m.